When I was about 12 years old, I had a dream shortly before Halloween. In the dream, I was out trick-or-treating on Halloween night. I was in an overgrown woody area, running the opposite direction from one particular house, not too far from my neighborhood. I knew I was being chased by something. After looking back a few times when I had the chance, I saw that a woman was chasing me. But she wasn't running, she was flying. I figured this must be a ghost, since that's what it mostly looked like. That December, I found out that the house that I had been running from in the dream belonged to an older woman. She lived alone and didn't have any family in the area. My mother's friend was delivering Christmas cookies and found her dead in the house. The police estimated that she had been there since about August. I don't actually believe in ghosts or the paranormal. However, what I experienced was very strange. But then again, what I dreamt that night was just a dream, right? I was about 3, maybe 4 years old at the time. My parents and I were staying at my aunt's cottage. The cottage had 2 floors, separated by a tall spiral staircase. At the time, my aunt had a baby who was around 8 months old. The baby was constantly crying for weeks, and only after a few weeks did we realize the baby was severely ill. I'll leave the details of the illness out of my story. One night, I remember waking up, facing the staircase. At first glance, I thought it was nothing, but when I squinted my eyes, I saw a tall black figure walking slowly up the stairs. Then, a few seconds later, going back down. It seemed the figure's face was covered under a hood or something. I couldn't see any facial features. I didn't know what to think, but I remember not being scared at all. The figure walked through the main hall on the first floor and vanished in the darkness. I eventually fell back to sleep. The next morning, the baby was not crying anymore, like it usually would. And later that morning, my mom told me that the baby had died during the night. On March 17, 2008, I had an experience that I would never forget. I was 12 years old at the time, and I was waiting in my mother's car, which was parked in a parking lot in front of a hair salon. I was waiting for my mother to finish her haircut when I saw a boy around my age walking across the parking lot. I thought it was a friend from school, so I started knocking on the window, trying to make him turn around and see me. When the boy turned around, I didn't recognize his face. I kept staring for a few seconds, confused. I then saw the boy walking towards my window, and when he got closer, I witnessed how his eyes were so black, pitch black. I was in complete shock and didn't move for a moment. When I realized I was staring in the dark black eyes of the boy, who was standing right outside the car door now, I jumped back, almost hitting my head against the car roof. I heard the boy say,
"You must let me in."
I was sweating. I didn't know if this was some sick prank from a boy wearing lenses or something, but at that moment I didn't care. I quickly hid under the glove compartment, facing down with my eyes closed. Minutes seemed like hours. When I finally built up the courage to look, there was no one there. I would, to this day, think I imagined it all, if my mother later that evening didn't tell me she saw the boy as well. He walked into the barber, somehow knowing who my mother was and that she was there. He was demanding the car keys. When my mom firmly refused, he left angrily. To this day, somewhere deep inside me, I hope that it was all just an evil prank, or at least an imagination that my mom and I somehow both had.